Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my mid-year reading journal flip through. So it's been 6 months already somehow. I don't really know how that happened. I feel like the year has completely disappeared on me, but since we're halfway through the year, I thought it would be a great time to show you what I've been up to in my reading journal so far. Obviously I make videos showing my setup, but I haven't been showcasing my book spreads. So there's a bunch of stuff in here that you won't have seen before. So let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Alright, now that the vibes have been appropriately set, welcome to my reading journal. This is a journal by Ferris Wheel Press. I think it's called like the Feather something or other. And it's just in this really nice blue color. I used the same journal last year, but in pink. And so you get really pretty end covers. And then I just have a nameplate, start date, end date kind of deal. And then if we turn over the page, we will get right into my 2024 reading journal title page. I also have tucked in here a little key for my book bingo, which we'll get to as we go. But you've already seen this in my yearly setup, so I will just page through quickly. I still have to print one more book for this, but I've done a pretty good job of reading these. I have read this one, 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 and this one, and this one. So still quite a few to go. Oh no, I also read this one, sorry. So yeah. Still, as I said, quite a few to go, but I've gotten through quite a bit. For this one, I think I'm going to print the third book in the Bloodsworn saga, since that'll be coming out later this year. I think most of these are still things I want to read. Some of them I'm not so sure are priorities, like I kind of forget about these ones, but a bunch of the other stuff is a priority, specifically like Navigator's Children. That's the thing I'm probably looking forward to the most. But then if we look at my TBR and book bingo page, you can see I've filled out a bunch of this now. I just kind of write things down as I see books that are interesting. I haven't actually read anything off my list yet, I guess, but I will fill in the diamonds as I do that. Some of these I have now. I have this book now, so I could read that soon. These I also have now, so I'm excited to read those. And then, as I said, I have my book bingo. I'm thinking about doing a video soon, trying to actually get a bingo, because you can see I'm only one away in a couple of places, or like two and a couple others. So I have crossed off things. I don't know how to really show this well. I've crossed off the things as I've gone, so I can like tell which ones I've done. So I still have like my 75 books read. I don't specifically care too much if I actually hit this or not this year. It's just kind of a nice thing to have on there. Finish a series. I have done that, and I've already put the sticker on, but I forgot to cross it off, so I will do that later. An urban fantasy, a magical realism. I think I have read one, but it was very light on the magical realism, so I'm not sure if I should count it. A Canadian author. I'm in the middle of something by a Canadian author, but I don't know if I've finished anything by one yet this year. A translated book, something from last year's TBR, on my shelf for over a year, a reread, something by an Asian author, something by an African author, and a memoir. I'm actually in the middle of a memoir right now, and I'm trying not to count books for two things. So the memoir that I'm reading is actually by a Canadian author, but I think I'll probably count it for memoir because I don't really have any other memoirs lined up for this year. So yeah, that's that. And I've just been using these little book stickers that my sister gave me by Rabbit Hole Handcraft, and then outlining them in the silver pen. And I'm also using silver in my series tracker to mark the completed ones. As you can see, I have finished Wheel of Time. I've made progress in pretty much everything else. Oh, I can fill this in now. I have not made progress in Malazan. I have to wait for this book to come out. And then I have not made any progress in Gentleman Bastards either, which is unfortunate, but is what it is. I've just been kind of focused on other things, but I would like to get to this at some point. And you could probably count that as an urban fantasy as well for my book bingo. But I think I want to set up another series tracker. I left a space for it before I started my July setup, because there are more series in this that I'm reading that I think it would be interesting to keep track of. So that's something I want to do soon. Books read. I haven't printed out any of the covers yet. because there's been a problem with how I usually print things. So hopefully I'll be able to print those out soon. But I am currently up to, actually I'm missing a couple things in here, so we can go in and just pencil them in quickly. So the last thing I wrote down was The Last Bookshop, but I've actually read, let me just check. 5 books since then, actually. So I've got Dorian Gray, Mirrored Sky, and then I also read Hyperion, Lathe of Heaven, and then if we go over onto the next page, that's exciting, I'm on the second page now. I have also read Leviathan Wakes. So I am up to 35 books this year. I have plenty of space remaining. I'm not anticipating that I'm going to read 85 books. I just wanted to make sure I had space because last year I had to kind of try to jam stuff in and I don't want to do that. So I left myself lots of room. And then obviously this is not useful till the end of the year. Same with this. And then we have January. We tried to do like a paper cut theme. Didn't work out the best, and it's not specifically my favorite, but we did do quite a bit of reading and got a good star rating, so can't complain too much about that. Then of course just my pages read. I sort of have switched how I've been doing this recently, but I do like this view, so I may or may not go back to that, I'm not sure. And then of course my books read. This one I specifically don't like how it turned out, but you know, that's just kind of how it is. All right, then we have February, which I did sort of like an isometric style, and I do like how this one turned out, but unfortunately it got kind of dirty, so it looks a little grubby because of that, which is unfortunate, but I like this part. I think this part worked quite well, but the boat, I made it digitally first and it didn't translate as well to paper, but yeah, then we have pages read. Slightly less reading it looks like in this month, although I mean it's still a decent number. I don't know why I'm holding this pencil, I'll put it down, I'm sorry. I didn't write down the rating for that or the author yet, but I should probably put that in at some point. If I could turn the page. March, we have a Art Deco theme. I do like how this one turned out, but the markers didn't really turn out to be as reflective as I was hoping. Like the silver one that I have from this pack I think is better. Like this looks very kind of, I don't know. It looks a little bit sad to me because it's like not as reflective as it could be. And I did have some transferring, it looks like. I shouldn't have closed the page as soon as I did because you can kind of see some of these arches, but yeah, that was March. And from here on out, I haven't filled in my month in reviews. I was gonna like hurry and try to get them done for this, but I decided that I'd rather not rush it and I will just show them to you in the end of the year, or maybe we could do a video filling out all my month in reviews. I think that could be kind of fun. I had a problem with tracking the days that I read this month, so that's not ideal because I do want to do some videos talking about my reading stats, and it appears I also forgot to do some erasing. I do a lot of forgetting, and I think that's just, I think it's okay to show that, and like, I'm not perfect, I don't expect you to be perfect. Wow, that was a bad reading month. I only read 3 books. Wow. Oh, I started Memory of Light as well and got a decent port through that. Way of Kings was a really long book though, so I did still probably read quite a few pages, just less books. Then we have April. I really like this one. I'm not as big of a fan of the way this turned out, but I like this. I feel like it's an appropriate amount of busyness, but then it also doesn't feel too busy because it's not colored. And I feel like this would be a fun thing to make as like a coloring page. But yeah, onto the month in review, pages read. See, yeah, this is what I've been doing. I forgot to mention it, is only writing down the number of the days that I read instead of writing down all of the numbers. So I'm not sure if I want to keep it that way or if I want to go back. I am undecided. Yes, Memory of Light. That was a great read. New Spring. Pretty good reading month for this month, actually. I know I still need to write down a lot of these are missing their ratings, and I think it's just because I forgot to write them down after I recorded like talking about them, so I have to go back to the video and find the ratings. But May I really liked. I love I feel like the berries turned out really well. They feel really juicy to me. I like the color scheme. It's giving kind of spring, and it also really reminds me of like the styles I used to do in my bullet journal, which tended to be more simple because I had to do it all the time and like make all the weekly spreads. But I just like how it turned out with like the white highlights made it look quite juicy to me. A lot of days read this month. I don't think it ended up being a ton of books, but I read like, only missed really a couple of days. Oh, and then I made a mistake here. So 17 to 22. I missed them. They should be here. I think I forgot that I read the book. But yeah, we got some good reads this month. Some stuff I forgot to erase again. Well, you know, that's just gonna kind of be a theme, unfortunately. I also made a mistake here. Book that wouldn't bun. I put an N in where I was supposed to put an R. These things happen. And I hate when I have an empty page, but I don't really know what I would even put here. Like, maybe if I could find like a really interesting quote from something, but I didn't have like 2 pages worth of stuff to say about this. And then everything else, I think, yeah, everything else already has its own page. So yeah, I hate having empty pages, but unfortunately we just do. And then we are on to the final month, which is June. I haven't actually filled out June yet. It's only July 5th today, but June is also a spread that I really liked, and I think it's going to be an easy one, like an easy theme to stick to for my, what do you call it? Like my book spreads. So I like how this turned out. It's really cute. How many of these books that I actually read? I read the first book in this, and I read this, but I didn't read any of those other 4 books. So yeah. And I haven't filled out my pages read yet either, but I did get through quite a few books. I've got them penciled in here. So Valor, Lost Bookshop, Dorian Gray, Mirrored Sky, Hyperion, Lathe of Heaven, and then this is where I'm going to put my additional series tracker. My question is just, do I do it in this same style, like just connect back, or do I do it in a style that matches either July or June or July or something entirely different? I'm not totally sure yet, so that'll be something I have to get to at some point. And then I'll give you a quick sneak peek of July. That should be hopefully the next video out. It's just taking quite a while to finish, and it's gonna be like a bug wall theme. Yeah, it's taking a really long time, but I'm excited for it. So yeah, that has been everything that I've put in my reading journal so far this year. This is probably a bit of a shorter video, but what can I say? There's only so much in here. But thank you so much for watching. Keep your eyes on this channel if you want to see more reading journal style content and the last 6 months that are going to be in this journal. And I will see you next time.